You too. Crazy word.
Who this nigga on that name?
Oh, ain't nobody but me, boss. What up, YouTube? Big T.O. Heavy Bag TV. Man, if you don't get your goofy ass in here and hit the bag. Oh, man, I was just laughing to myself about my last video, which will be recommended to you at the end of this video if you want to check it out, where I'm calling David Benavidez a superstar. Oh, in the comment section is funny. Boy, them Canelo lovers, they do not want you to give Benavidez no credit for you can't give Benavidez no credit for nothing. They want to see the death of David Benavidez, but he's just so fun to watch, bro. The style is crazy, and I just don't know how anybody couldn't be a Benavidez fan. But you know, if you meet ride one guy, you're definitely going to hate his enemy. Bruh. All right, listen. Curmel Moton, Amado Vargas. I like that. A couple of prospects. Curmel Moton 7-0 with 6 knockouts. Amado Vargas 11-0 with I believe 5 knockouts. Yeah, he's got 5 knockouts. And Amado took to his social media to post this, right, where it says, y'all want this fight to happen at Curmel Moton versus Amado Vargas. Now, of course, ferocious Fernando Vargas. If you old head like me, you remember seeing Vargas fight back in the day. That was my guy. He's got 3 sons that actually box. You got Amado being the youngest, I believe it is, and then Emiliano Vargas, and of course Fernando Vargas Jr., all undefeated. I think Emiliano is probably the bigger of the 3 as far as potential, having the potential to do some real or make some real noise in the sport of boxing. But again, all undefeated. And for Curmel Moton, would this be his toughest task to date? Again, Amado Vargas 11-0, but I wanted to show you guys something because it's a difference, right, between this Curmel Moton 7-0 and Amado Vargas 11-0, right? Now let's look at Amado Vargas box rec, where, as you can see, starting out versus somebody like a Hector Molina, who hadn't won a fight. Then you got a guy that's 1-1. Then you got a guy that's 0-4, and then 1-3, then 1-1, and 1-3, then 5-9, then 2-4, then 11. A nigga with 30 fights and 20 of them is losses, right? And then by what's that? Maybe his 8th or 9th fight. Yeah, his 9th fight, he fights, or excuse me, his 10th fight, he fights somebody with an actual like winning record. And then his last fight versus Sean Garcia, who was undefeated, a 7-0 guy, right? So that's night and day versus somebody like a Curmel Moton, who has, you know, been fighting undefeated fighters, as you can see, starting out against a 4-0 guy, 3-0 guy, 7-0 guy, and then a guy who's basically 500, all for the most part winning records. Now, if you can remember that Moreno fight, that was a last minute replacement fight, I believe it was, and he was 4-5. That's the worst record, it appears, on his 7 fights. And then, of course, a guy with 1 loss who was 5-1 against a Frank Zaldivar, right? So night and day as far as the first 7 opponents goes, right? You can easily say, just given, and listen, they all may very well be taxi drivers at the end of the day, but you can say Curmel Moton has fought the better of the cab drivers, right? He's had the stiffer competition based on just records at the end of the day. But I like this fight, right? These are notable names. This would be a notable name for Curmel Moton, a notable name for Amado Vargas, if he's supposed to be the real deal, like a lot of people are saying he is. Not quite on Emiliano's level, in my opinion. But again, Fernando Jr., Emiliano, Amado, all undefeated. Notable name for Curmel. I like the fight. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. All right. But Crawford. Check my man Bud out real quick. My bad.
What's up, y'all? I'm looking forward to being undisputed in September. Let's get it. It's work time.
All right. According to Bud, he's waiting on Canelo and his opportunity to become undisputed in September. And he also threw this out there too, to let you know, listen, I'm on weight, baby. He's 186 pounds right about now. And I'm not so sure that's just walk around weight or if he's like really been training. Of course, you know, we're not around Bud Crawford all day, every day, but it appears like when you check his social media, it's like he's always in the gym. He's a gym rat for the most part. Hold on, y'all. It appears that he's always in the gym and working out. You don't have posts too far in between where he's not working out. And maybe he's at 186. Is that his walk around weight? I'm not so sure. Maybe he's been bulking up, trying to stay in that range, but also work out and train his body to do what it does when it comes to the sport of boxing at 186 pounds, and then implement a weight cut. So he could probably rehydrate, and get close to where Canelo's going to be. Because listen, it's going to be, if it's 68, Canelo's going to rehydrate to somewhere around maybe 184-ish, 185-ish. I would say, he's going to rehydrate. He's going to be big, bro, to come the night of the fight. If he doesn't, he'd be crazy to give up his weight advantage. That's just my opinion. He could even come in a little bit smaller. But what will Bud Crawford rehydrate to? And it would be even more important for Bud to be at a weight that's sustainable for him, where he feels, I believe, most comfortable, right? Like he doesn't necessarily have to try and come in after the weigh-in at 180 pounds. If he came in, you fighting at 68 and you put on 10 pounds and you come in at 78, it's about how comfortable he feels. He wants to kind of keep that speed aspect, so he can react with sharper, with sharper offense, man, right? You want to keep what makes Bud. You want to keep that. In too much weight, I think maybe he can't be himself, right? But the question is, for me, does he need a tune-up? Hell yeah, in my opinion. I hate the fact that it appears Bud's just going to kind of sit on the sideline and wait for Canelo Alvarez until September. Of course, Canelo's going to be fighting William Skull in May. And this is kind of what happened with the Jermell Charlo fight. He hadn't been in the ring for a minute. Then you go boom, straight into a Canelo fight. With Bud, it's just different, right? When you're sparring, it's just not the same as a real fight where you get to just really, really, really let loose and have that under your belt going into another fight a few months later. Now Bud hasn't fought since when? It's the Madrimon fight not long ago. What was that? October, maybe. So it'll be about a year. And of course, Bud fights about once a year. Maybe his body's just used to fighting that once a year, but this is Canelo Alvarez. I would prefer for him to get some kind of tune-up, even if it wasn't at 68, right? I would just want him to be able to get in there, stay sharp, keep the tools sharp in an actual fight. Unless he's doing some rigorous sparring where you can kind of mimic a real fight, which is just hard to do with sparring. I would rather for him to get a tune-up because, listen, I don't believe he's given up many advantages outside of the weight advantage for Canelo in his fight. But that's one advantage I wouldn't prefer Canelo to have. It's the fact that he's gotten a fight in and he'll be a little bit more prime, ready for that September date. All right. Definitely want to know y'all's thoughts, man. That's all I got for y'all on this one, man. Big T.O. Heavy Bag. I am out of here, man. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.